Well, you know what,
Okay.
Chris Egan? You're looking good. You're looking slimmer by the day.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you do. Where's this? Where are the cigarettes?
Have not. Well, it's great you bring that story up, Buck, because that became a topic. I was at the canoe kayak rowing venue,
Okay.
which is a beautiful two shuttle ride away from my hotel. Which so it's
How
it's
long?
4 hours round trip.
Shut up.
No, I mean when you deal with getting on a bus, getting off a bus, waiting for a bus,
Terrible.
security, nobody understands this. I mean, there's people back at King, they're working really hard, but when they're done with their shift,
Time
they
out.
go
When
to
you say people don't understand, we know who we're talking about.
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying any names.
You
Everybody's working hard.
you hear that, Copeland? Hey,
when
Copeland, do you
yeah,
understand? It's hard
when
work.
when Greg Copeland gets done, he jumps into his Mel Gibson truck and drives a mile home, and he's home. I'm taking
Hey,
four
hey,
hours.
Wittenberg, he's not getting on his 10 speed and biking home.
I'm 4 hours round trip on a bus with nobody that speaks English. So I don't know what's going on, but a lot of the events I'm going to, whether it be artistic swimming, rowing, canoeing, heavily populated with media from other countries. Like today,
Sure.
Hungary was really into the rowing canoe. The Ukraine was there. Serbia was there. Yours truly was there. A couple of French reporters were there. And getting back to our point here, Puck, is a couple of French reporters decided to light up right in the middle of the mix zone.
Yeah.
Join some cigarettes.
Wait, and we in the mix zone. What's the mix
So the
zone?
mix zone in the
Mix
Olympics is
zone.
where you interview the athletes. So the athletes come
Oh,
into what's called a mix zone, and there you are. You basically they come down an aisle, and then everybody interviews them, and they're
oh, I
just
got you.
smoking in the mix zone, which is a no. So
According to who?
according to the Olympics, who's in charge of the Olympics, they came in and no smoking in the mix zone, and the French media were like, "What?"
I did. She not understand what you say. Let him smoke. Come on.
So they just moved about 10 feet and kept smoking outside of the mix
Yeah,
zone.
yeah, you
So
did.
everybody's happy. Everybody is
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. You ever lit up a cigarette before?
I'm not a big cigarette smoker. No, I mean the
I'm not
cigars.
asking you that. I'm just asking if you ever had a cigarette.
I'm sure I've had one once or twice before, but
Okay.
cigars. I've had a few cigars. I enjoy a nice cigar sometimes.
I had a
So
great
yeah,
summer of smoking. It was what a wonderful summer between, I think, my junior and senior year in college, and I was working at the airport, SeaTac, and I was in the luggage or baggage claim, like working below the, when your bags you throw them on the little conveyor belt and they go in and they disappear and they drop down, and there's putzes like me down there that are throwing the luggage in the carts for the different flights, right? And you got to memorize all the 3-letter codes of all the airports. And some are obvious and some aren't. I mean, I don't know. Portland is PDX, LA's
PDX.
LAX, right? But some of them are confusing. I think it's Orlando's got a weird one. Anyways, they hire a bunch of college kids in the summer because the regular people that have been there for like 30 years, like, we'll take them the summer off. But it was a great summer job, so it's chaotic down there for like an hour. And then the rest of the time, as a bunch of flights are coming in, and then it's chaos. But then it kind of dies down. So when it dies down, you got really nothing to do for like a long time. So we played a bunch of spades, and then we smoked Winston's. And it was my summer. It was my summer of Winston's.
That's all you did.
Just smoking cigarettes on the tarmac. Just.
And I'm not saying you're not in shape now, but during that summer of Winston's, did you find yourself just in elite physical shape? Because
Yeah.
all the French Puck are just, I mean, even the women policemen, just gorgeous. I mean, they're just all beautiful. Everybody's just
Because they don't. Here's the secret, guys.
yeah.
Americans, they don't eat Hungry Man dinners.
That's true. They don't. But I will say they all seem to go out and eat every night. And like every night,
They
it's
eat
Sunday
real
night
food.
Puck. Last Sunday night, Puck, I'm working till like midnight, and I'm rolling back to the hotel, every hotel, every restaurant is packed.
Yeah.
It's midnight on a Sunday.
Wonderful.
Midnight in Seattle, ghost town. Paris,
8 o'clock in Seattle. It's like, oh, it's you can't get in until. I mean, and here, especially in Seattle, if you're like, you can't. Oh, we can't get in at 6. We're out.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we gotta get to bed. I do enjoy that. And you know what I like about it is I was having when you're by yourself, Puck. I'll say this: I recommend everybody just maybe take a week and go by yourself, and because you
Oh.
I guess you just see things a lot more because you're looking around. And I was having lunch the other day by myself, and I'm just looking out, and it's just nobody's on their phones. They're just eating, they're communicating, they're talking, they're laughing, they're having a good time, and I think we need to get back to a little bit more of that. A little less on the go, a little less on the phone, and let's start engaging a little bit more, everybody.
Yeah,
so
I found that
when you're
last
by
year.
yourself, you see that.
Yeah, I found that last year when we were traveling in Italy. I think the Europeans have a little bit more of like living in the moment, right? They're not obsessed with their work. That for sure. It's not like work there does not define them. I mean, you've probably seen this. I mean, I had a buddy, shout out Brian Singleton, if he's watching or listening to this, who lived in Paris or outside of Paris for like, I want to say 5-6 years. And he would always tell you, joke. He would be like, it's unbelievable. These guys, it's great. They get into work around, we run 10 o'clock.
I believe it.
Okay, they work for like 2 hours. He's like, they all leave. Most of them go home because they live relatively close. They're gone for 3 hours, maybe longer.
That's lunch.
Come back. He's like, they come back, around 3-ish. Probably put in another hour or so, maybe 2, and like, it's time to go. And then they go home.
Dinner. Then they go have dinner.
He's like,
they walk or bike everywhere.
Maybe a nap. Have you noticed a nap? A good little nap in?
I mean, you can't go wrong with a nap. And yes, am I a proud American? Was I last weekend, Puck? We taped our show last weekend,
Hulk
and
Hogan
I went to the rowing venue. So I was watching rowing, and I was the only American in the mix zone. And I got
smoking
there an hour and a half early, so I've got my spot. I've got my tripod camera. I'm locked down. Like nobody's getting my spot. The U.S. is coming, and all of a sudden, this guy from the BBC just jumps right in front of me. I'm like, "What are we doing?" And I said, "Sir, I've been here an hour and a half. Move over."
Yeah.
I'm BBC. I'm like, I don't. I'm NBC.
Yeah.
Move over.
Bigger.
Move over. Not in our house, baby. Not in our house. Not today. So it gets a little. You got to punch some elbows in there and defend. And I'll say this, Puck. When we're at Seahawks Mariners, remember the old, no clapping, and this is a neutral press zone. That's not in the mix zone. When your country starts winning, you're up. You're wearing a U.S. I think somebody said something. I go, check the medal count. Check the medel count.
Yeah.
All right?
Media members talking shit to each other. I love it. I love it. Just tell the next.
I will say this, Puck. Bad rap. I think, from my personal experience, been here now 19 straight days. You warned me like, the French may be rude. Whatever. Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was somebody else. They're really not. I found this Olympic Games absolutely phenomenal. And if you're willing to try their language, if you're willing to at least try and don't be just like, I'm not going there and trying to speak it, I'm an American. Yeah. I mean, try to pick up their language. I think they really appreciate that. Am I perfect with my French? No. Do I try? Yes.
It's good.
And I think I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of love back from those people. Like, you know what? He's trying. We'll be nice.
If you give a little bit of when you go in another country, if you just give a little bit of effort, just a little bit on just, thank you, hello, please. Yeah, I think that they appreciate that. That's the thing about Europeans. I mean, since they were 4 or 5, or they've all learned to speak English.
Yeah,
all of them. So they always will default to it. But I think to honor them, because you're in their country. just a little bit. It goes a long ways. I think that's
It does.
it's a great observation there on your part, especially when you're
With
ordering
all that
another
said, with all
bottle
that
of
said,
wine.
With all that said, Puck, I can't wait to get home.
Screw the French.
It's been. I have never wanted to complain at being at events, but 19 days of trying to get around an Olympic Games with a tripod on your back, with a camera on your back. It's been every day. I mean, it's been fun, but it's an adventure every day. And I mean, so we'll see. You know, I'll say this: last night I watched artistic swimming for 3 hours, and I loved it.
That thing is crazy. I don't know how they do it. How do they stay afloat? How do they sit there and do all those routines while at the same time treading water?
Kiana Hunter from Bellevue College, from Issaquah High.
Wow.
Audrey Kwan from Bellevue High School. Congratulations. They take home a silver medal. They become the first
Bellevue.
U.S. team in 20 years. How about Bellevue Issaquah repping at the Olympic Games? I mean, I love that.
Most famous alum to come out of Bellevue College since Softy.
Yes, that's right. I mean, well, and Softy doesn't have a medal. So
He
this
sure
guy
doesn't.
now has a medal.
He does not have a medal. Does not.
What are you drinking there, Buck? It looks pretty good.
We've gone straight vodka here in the early. So, as we record this 11:20 in Seattle, just straight vodka. I mean, it's a little something for the lunchtime.
Hey, help me make sense of this one. I'm at the grocery store here in Paris, and Heineken beer, 85 euros. That's 85 cents. Yet a Reese's peanut butter cup is 2.54. So I can get two Heineken.
Yeah, I think they really put a high price on sugar over there. I think.
Because I can get 3 beers for 1 candy bar.
Well, did you get the 3? I mean, it sounds like a great choice.
I got them in the fridge right over here. I can bring them out.
Go ahead. I mean, it's 9 o'clock almost, right?
Yeah, it's getting late here. I mean, it's 8:20. Yeah,
crack a Heineken. I just don't like Heineken. Not a fan of it.
No, yeah. Well, maybe there's not a lot of people in Paris. It's only 85 cents.
Couldn't find a Rainier, huh? No vitamin R over there?
No vitamin R anywhere to be found.
Excuse me,
Paris,
sir.
so.
Well, is the Rainier? What?
Any Rainier on tap? Any Oli?
Yeah. You got an Olympia back there? Excuse me? So artistic, so you fell in love with the artistic. What was it? Swimming?
It's just a lot. Artistic is basically, Puck, for you and I, synchronized swimming.
Synchronized swimming.
I mean, that's what they changed the name to artistic swimming at one point. It was synchronized swimming, and it was hilarious because it's funny how you see things with the Olympics on what's trending.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, early on in the day, NBC says, "Hey, Egan, you got 2 kids from Seattle. You're going to be there, right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm going to be there." They're in second place, and they haven't medaled in 20 years. All of a sudden, I'm in the mix zone by myself. Then all of a sudden, NBC Los Angeles shows up. NBC Philadelphia shows up. NBC Boston shows up. NBC Ohio shows up. And then all of a sudden, NBC Nightly News is there in the mix zone. And the PR lady for artistic swimming's like, we've never had this much media before. So it's kind of cool to see these kids get the attention they deserve.
So that became a big story.
It became, Nightly News even did a feature on it. I think it was just I don't know. There were some good storylines with all these kids. I know on TikTok it became a big deal with their hair.
Great hair.
They put some type of gelatin on it that hardens it up, and then it becomes like honey. And so that was part of it. And so who knew? Who knew artistic swimming would take off at these Olympic Games like Snoop Dogg and Flavor Flav and
they're the
breakdancing and all the other
They're
stuff.
Unbelievable. The guys are like the star of the Olympics.
And I'm surprised you've taken so long on this, Buck. This is old school journalism for me over here. I run into a kid by the name of C.J. Allen, Washington State Cougar, 2-time Pac-12 champion. This is the great thing. I go to his parents. I go, "Hey, your bio says you're from Bremerton." He goes, "Well, we actually live in Allen, but nobody knows where Allen is." I said, "I know where Allen is. I know where. From here on out, you are from Allen, and you're going to be proud to be from Allen. Big Bubba's Burgers, Allen, C.J. Allen from Allen, the gateway to Vaughn Bay. Yes. You are from Allen, my friend." So I pumped that up, and it was so cool because people living in Allen were sending me emails. They're like, Egan, this is what we love about you. You find out where all these little local kids are from. And this kid won 2 state titles at North Mason High School, went to Wazoo. His Washington State coach is still his coach to this day. Didn't end up winning a medal in the 400 hurdles, but you know what? Made the semifinals, made a good show, represented the Cougs proudly. He's a good Coug, and he even gave a couple go Cougs during the mix zone, so it was fun.
Good. What has been the highlight so far? 19 days there. What's been the highlight for you?
Highlight for me. Oh my gosh,
The French women or food.
I mean, going up and doing these live shots in the Eiffel Tower is pretty powerful. I will say this. It was 10:30, Puck. I was up with a photographer from Denver. We're up in the tower, and a storm blows in. I think this was last Saturday. And all of a sudden, it's just lightning. We're up in the Eiffel Tower, wind's blowing. And I literally turned to Johnny's his name. I go, I think if we're going to go tonight, this is not a bad way to go. Because it just was like, this thing blew in fast, and we are like 500 yards above the ground, 217 steps to be exact, and we're the only two up there, and it's lightning is hitting everywhere, and then all of a sudden it just starts. It was just one of those powerful moments where you feel really small, and you're like, okay, this is very cool. So that was neat to see this big storm take over Paris, but I don't know, for me, going to Roland Garros was pretty cool, seeing the clay courts. I'm a tennis nerd, so seeing Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz play tennis there was pretty cool. So that was fun.
The best thing was the story you did where you were at Roland Garros and asking all the French people about pickleball, and they looked at you like you were an alien from another planet. Is pickleball? No, see pickleball here. The highlight. God, I wish I still had the audio. I played it on the show. It was when you asked the woman, and you can't be in the kitchen. She's like, I don't understand that. I can't be in the kitchen.
She was confused on that one.
So do they really have no idea about the sport?
So the more I've researched it, there's a few small pockets of pickleball, and this is, everybody wants to, say pickleball. It is growing fast, no question about it. We know that in the States, but to make the Olympics in 2028, it's got some work to do, because I'll just say this. Everybody I interviewed from Poland, no idea about pickleball. Serbia, no idea about pickleball. The French, small idea about pickleball. So it's got some room to grow. And then there was even a couple ladies from Brazil said, we've heard of it, but we rather do paddleball on the beach. And I'm like, yeah, how do you argue? So in Brazil, I think they have a game called paddleball, which is like pickleball, but they play it on the beach.
Have you ever seen the I think it started, and first of all, I'll watch anything that's in Brazil on the beach with the ladies, okay? And I don't care what it is. They could be playing it's bridge or whatever. I don't care. Just any sport with them in a bikini on a beach. But have you seen where they play volleyball but with their feet?
Yes, and they'll do that in Brazil.
That's unbelievable. Well. That might be the hardest sport I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. And there's something they kept saying called paddleball or something where the ball goes off the wall and they use a racket. So I think there's a lot of other different sports, kind of like pickleball. So yeah, but
it's on the beach.
Kind of like racquetball, but no, there's a net in between. So they're going back and forth, and it's going off the wall. And I don't even know how you win the point, to be honest with you. But it's popular in some countries.
I love the man on the street stuff. So. You got to. I mean, anytime you can do more of that, I just think you should.
I would probably do, and I would have a little fun here in France. I'm just sometimes worried about. There's so many police. I'm like, at what point? Like today, I'm going live at an event, and I'm not sure I was in a location I should have been at, and there was a drone hovering over me
with a gun on it, and then you hear the police. Still the best sirens. They get the best sirens over there. They're unbelievable.
So you are somebody that knows sports well. So I'm just going to take this and throw this. I want to throw it at you because I'm here and I'm a little biased because it's around me every day. And we talked about this last week, but I don't, we've had a week now to digest it. Why are these numbers so high for
I,
the Olympics? I mean, we live in a world where everything we hear is
mm,
numbers are down on this, numbers are down, TV shows are down, except the NFL football and except WNBA with Caitlin Clark. But here we get this Olympic Games, and it's blowing up, Puck,
I
and
don't
I don't
know,
know.
because I wouldn't say I necessarily find myself watching it more than maybe I've in the past. I think I would just go back to, I think what we brought up before is that, the last time it was, it's COVID and there was no one there. And I think
Yeah,
when there's no one there, it doesn't feel like a sporting event, and it's just people are in
yeah,
masks and there's no energy. And I think that's the part of it. You watch sports and you get enthralled by the noise and the sound. And I think the athletes play off the energy of the crowd and the emotions. And then, 4 years ago, there was none of that. It was eerie. You go back to, watch all these, sporting events that we had during COVID, the football games, whether it was college, the limited amount of games they played, or when the Seahawks, that wasn't the same. It was so different. So
yeah.
I think the time, because it's not in Asia, the time difference is not as bad. It's not as bad. And it's actually, for a lot of people who are at home, like, it's great because, like, right now you flip on at like 9:00 in the morning back here in Seattle.
You're getting a 200-meter dash.
You're getting all like
at 10 in the morning.
I know,
yeah.
as we're recording this, you got to watch all this stuff. I think in prime time or during the day, and then at least on the West Coast, if you miss any of it, you just watch it at night. So I think that it's fit perfectly. This time around because of the schedule, and it probably will be even better in 4 years when it's in LA.
And I was saying that I think in LA for the West Coast it's going to be huge because we're going to get everything in prime time in LA. So I think it's going to be absolutely
better
chaos
for you
down there in LA at these Olympic Games
if you're still around.
Well, we were actually talking about that at these games. Most of the reporters that come to these games have done an Olympics before, so they kind of know the routine. They know how to go into a mix zone. They know what they're doing. They know it's not a mix zone to go do Instagram
or
shots.
Smoking.
You go to LA or smoke. You go to LA, Puck. Every station's going to send 10 to 15 crew, which includes your morning anchors, your midday anchors. So you're going to deal with a lot. It's going to be like a Super Bowl. So I'm a little nervous about that.
Is that old Wittenberg and Mimi are going to push him out, and they're going to try to step on Egan's turf at the Olympics. And I'm going to tell you right now, Wittenberg and Mimi, America and Seattle, we need Egan there. Not you with your shirt off, Wittenberg.
You know where I want to go, Puck? I do want to go home from the Olympics, but I wouldn't mind stopping off.
Yeah.
Another dream of mine. I mentioned the French Open.
Yep.
That was checklist off. World Series.
What a transition to go from Roland Garros to the Little
drop off. I got all my gear. Why don't you just drop me off?
Do they have a direct flight from Paris to Williamsport?
Doubtful, but if the kids from Puyallup are there, Puck, and I'm not
South
there,
Hill,
that just doesn't feel right.
South Hill is representing the state of Washington in the Northwest region, and they play as they're playing this week. We'll just peel back the curtain. We are recording this on Thursday. They are playing Thursday night. Yeah. So by the time this airs on Friday, okay, wait for it. Ready? Hey, congratulations to South Hill for winning. Unbelievable. South Hill. Can you believe South Hill defeated that Idaho team, Chris? What a great run. They're gonna go to the Little League World Series. This is great.
Hope we're right.
Okay, now wait. Okay, now
let's hope we're right. Now, do we have to edit another one? Yeah.
3, 2, 1. God, that was disappointing. South Hill couldn't pull that off. Just a real, and you got to criticize like Scott Service. You criticized the manager. Coach Murphy here. He just.
Derek Jennings is the man.
Play along, Chris. If Jennings, would like Service, put in your best reliever, Jennings. Did you coach the South Hill team?
I did. It was a very stressful.
Not this year, but in the past.
So basically, No, this is like 8 or 9 years ago. I coached a little league all-star team. We won our league, so my team, the White Sox, won the league. So if your team wins the league, you are named the all-star
Okay.
coach, at least at this point in time in coaching. And then I was able to select the all-stars, and then it's just it's tough. You got to get every kid in there, and then it's a
Well,
pitching
that's all it
battle,
is.
and so. Uh, I mean, looking back, would I redone things how I managed it? Sure, but it's a live and learn, and it's a live and learn, and we had fun, and it was
Mm.
great experience. But to go to Williamsport would be, I think that would be fun. Puck, you and I do a little
I would love
play-by-play
to
when we
go
come
there,
on.
and I do want to go there. I desperately want to go to Williamsport and experience all that. I want to go to the College World Series in Omaha, but I definitely want to go to Williamsport and see it. So it'd be cool if South Hill. Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, it'd be 2 years in a row we would have a team from the state of Washington, right? Because it was a Seattle team last year. It was it Northeast Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
How about that?
Northeast Seattle.
Let's go
Yeah,
South Hill. Do you know?
representing.
Do you know
So.
kids on this team?
Yeah, I do actually. This is a lot of the new level kids, I think,
Oh,
are on
that
this
new
team.
level.
So if you know the
Yeah.
program,
Oh,
new
that's like the
level, you
Dallas
know new
Cowboys of
level.
Little
That's a
League. New level. Let me ask you this, and I'm going to offend somebody on.
and the new level
I'm gonna,
moms
yeah,
love
and
their
this is where
tank
I'm
tops.
going. This is where I'm going to offend somebody in Puyallup, and I'm going to offend somebody associated with New Level. So when you see me at one of these tournaments, please don't hit me. All right. I would say this: who wears more gear that says New Level on it, the kids or the parents? I mean, hey, Dad. Hey,
It's
Dad.
the parents.
You're not playing. You don't need to be head to toe in New Level gear. I mean, the hat is one thing, fine.
So
You don't need to have the shirt on, and then the New Level shorts, and then the New Level
but,
socks, and
but,
then the New Level.
but
I mean, hell, if these guys could get a New Level tattoo on their face like Tyson, they do it.
I'm a proud parent
Yeah.
of a new level player. But at
It's
one
a
point, Puck, at one point, one parent did take it a little too much. The parent came in with the
Jesus.
new level shirt on, and the dad, Puck, I can't make this up. The dad was wearing baseball pants, and he's not even a coach.
God.
And the dad, it appeared he was wearing a cup.
Just in case he gets the call. Oh God.
I told my wife, I go, is he wearing a cup? And so I thought he would be coaching, but he wasn't. I think he was working Game Changer.
Well, you never know. When you're working Game Changer, foul ball comes back and hits you in the junk. Listen, New Level parents, please don't come in and attack me at a tournament. But
No,
you do wear a
no,
lot of
and
gear.
they've
Okay,
been
it's a lot.
just
Yeah.
maybe not the cup. I'm saying be proud of
Where
your
did
club. That's fine.
now
Don't
that you
listen
got
to
me
Buck,
started
but
on this, and
don't.
we didn't do this for our all-star team, but is the painting of the car a little overboard? And you probably did, so I'm asking you. Did you paint the car all of
Uh,
Johnny's All-Star
can't
number
sit
8?
here. I can't sit here on pucksports.com and ever lie to you. And so we
Okay.
did.
All
We
right.
did paint the car. I thought it would be kind of fun if like the Mariners make the playoffs.
Oh.
It would be wouldn't it be kind of neat if you like see like
Yeah.
go Cal go like go to the
Oh
Mariners
no, yeah,
homes and paint their
they
cars
roll in there on
become
their $250,000 Lamborghini, and you put all that crap all over it. Cal's an
we're
all-star.
rooting for
Yeah.
you, Scotty
Scott
Service.
Service.
Cal's.
Yeah. Okay. So you did
Oh
you
man, I
did the
do.
cars.
I
You
will
did the
say this: I do
numbers,
have.
and then the Luke Egan, Austin Egan's an all-star. Okay.
We did
All right.
that. I've got one more youth sports bone to pick here from Paris. Okay. And this is from somebody that has sat and interviewed Olympic athlete after Olympic athlete after Olympic athlete, and these kids have worked their
Yeah.
tails off to get here. And I'm finding myself, Pug, looking at all these Instagrams and what is going on with this younger generation of just posting themselves scoring a bucket, working out in the gym. Look at me, I'm doing this. And I'm thinking, you know what all these Olympic athletes weren't doing to get here? They weren't posting themselves as a 12-year-old, like doing things in the gym. I don't know what's going on with the social media world, but it's getting a little scary. And maybe I'm just following the wrong people, but every time I jump on Instagram, it's like, hey, look at me, I scored 2 points. Hey, I hit a home run. I'm like, just go
hey,
work and shut up and do it. I mean, come on. Maybe it's their parents with all the gear on that tell them to do that.
It could be. All right. Well, if you hear any feedback from the new level staff, I tell them I apologize.
I think you'll be all right. In fact, we'll probably send you. We'll probably send you a new level ad. Put it in the studio for
I'll
you.
wear it. I'll wear it head to toe.
Just don't wear a cup.
What a douche. Sorry. All right. Be safe. Or do we talk next week? Or are you back next week?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I should be back in the States if all goes well with travel. So, USA, baby. USA dominating. Don't come at me in the mix, though.
I work at the BBC. Next time the BBC guy says, the BBC go, tap him on the shoulder and said, we kicked your ass in the war. All right?
No, I just do this. Check the leaderboard.
There he is. Chris Egan, live. Well, not live. Taped from Paris. It's all brought to always live. All brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. I don't think I got that in earlier. Fat Zach's Pizza delivers you Chris every single week with us, and they deliver the great pizza in the region. 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, and South Hill. Speaking of the South Hill Little League All-Stars, who trying to get to Williamsport, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Book one of their food trucks. They got 3 of them. Birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. And find Fat Zach's on Facebook, Instagram, and fatzachspizza.com. Follow Chris on Twitter /X at Chris Egan5, also on Instagram. All of his work up at King5, king5.com, the YouTube page. He's unbelievable. Chris Egan, every Friday here from the Puck Sports Studios, built by Limback Lumber. We'll talk to you next week from the States. Au revoir.
Hey, safe travels to Pullman.
Which is, the French say, is the gateway to heaven.
Gateway, Pullman, the Pelouse. From the Pelouse to Paris.